you want?
Baggedmilk. 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 Oh, I swear. Oh, Baggedmilk. Baggedmilk.
Home opener, baby.
Big day.
Yeah, big day.
Exciting day.
Right
Very
out of the
exciting.
gates, you know what I was thinking about last night? Because at first I was a little bit frustrated over the last couple of days. All the sports donkeys, they're like, you know, they make all of their predictions and everything like that for the upcoming season and who's going to win and what division, like who's going to lead what division and all that crap, right? So if you follow sports at all, you see all that kind of stuff. And Edmonton's not coming up. And at first I was like, how can they be ignoring this team? Like, I understand they got blown out in the first round last year, the perennial disappointments, but how
Lost
can they
Adam Larson.
how can we be ignoring a McDavid, Draisaitl, Edmonton Oilers team? I think that might be a better situation for our Oilers. Do you agree with me?
Yeah, I mean, prediction pressure is just an added pressure that who cares, right? Because it doesn't mean anything. I could say the Oilers are going to win the Stanley Cup. And what does that mean? Absolutely jack squat. So, yeah, I tend to agree with you that lack of pressure will probably help. But, you know, if you look at the actual division that the Oilers are playing in, the Pacific, it's not the strongest division. So assuming that the Oilers are not going to be competitive within at least that division is probably a little bit short-sighted at the very least. And I don't care how cynical you are about this team. Like,
they're going to be better than the Ducks, the Flames, the Kings, the
Flames.
Yeah, I mean, there's obviously it's sports and anything can happen, but the Oilers still have the two best players on the planet, and you know what? They're going to be playing a lot of teams that aren't so great. So take that as you wish, but that means the Oilers are going to have a path to the playoffs that may be a little bit easier than some of the other teams in the league, and you know what? I'll take it. And if people think that the Oilers aren't going to do anything because they don't like the defense or they don't like Mike Smith or they don't like Dave Tippett or whatever the reason is, that's fine. But we'll have to see how things all shake up by the time April rolls around, and I'm going to bet that the Oilers are in the dance.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you. And the other thing that I think needs to be brought up with this Oilers team is the fact that they, I don't know, the underperforming thing is one thing, but I think there's a fire underneath it.
They've also got better depth on this team, like in the forwards, adding Fogle but
I think they're embarrassed.
Those guys.
I think, I get a sense just at McDavid in particular, at a couple of things I've seen from him in the last month. I think they were embarrassed by what happened last year.
I mean, how could you not be, right? I mean, the Oilers finished second in the North Division. They had a good season by all accounts and, by every metric. But when they got to the playoffs, they couldn't win when it mattered most. And you'd have to think that was embarrassing. And actually, you know what? I would even say you'd hope that was embarrassing for a guy like McDavid and Draisaitl, because if he just trucked through and went, la, 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 who cares? We lost in four, then I think that's almost a bigger problem. So having him mad and salty and upset and looking like he's going to murder everybody on the ice, that's a good thing. That's good news. That makes the rest of us happy.
There's not a lot of conversation this year about the rule changes, but the one thing that apparently they are going to start to crack down on is cross-checking, and the way this game is played, the physical level of this game. I think there's a lot of players in the league that are going to have a tough time with this if they do actually crack down on the cross-checking thing. Because it's a common sort of strategy from a defensive stance, right? That benefits this team as well.
Yeah, of course. I mean, the Oilers have the last 2 years they've had one of the best power plays in the NHL. So having more power play opportunities can only help the Edmonton Oilers. And if the Oilers if the refs are actually going to call that and it's actually going to be consistent, that's good news. That is good news for the Oilers, because more time they spend on the power play means more time filling the other net with pucks, and that's really what it's all about. And it's going to be interesting to see how defensemen like Darnell Nurse, who's a physical guy, he likes to throw his stick around a little bit in front of the net, how he adjusts to the new rules. And
it works both ways.
Is this going to be one of those things where the refs call it all year long, or are we just going to be doing this for October, and by the time November rolls around, then we're back to normal? So I'm also curious to see how that actually works.
I wanted to bring up, you're bringing back the BeetCast for this season where you eat beets after every loss. You're raising money for the food bank, though. What's the deal? What are you doing this year?
So I've told you guys this now for a couple years. I don't like doing this bit anymore. I feel like it's running.
How many seasons has it been going on for?
I think this is the 5th year I'm doing it, the 4th.
Who keeps talking you into it? Somebody at Oilers Nation is like, you got to keep going.
Yeah, it's just like, well, you got to do it. I mean, it's part of the thing now. I'm like, well, I guess. I don't know. So this year last year I decided I wanted to raise some money for the Edmonton Food Bank. Like, I didn't want to do it, but if we could raise some money for the food bank, that's great. So what people can do this year is they can send me a screenshot that they've made a donation to the food bank, along with a request that they want me to do after a loss instead of beets. So far I've gotten insects that apparently you can find on the internet for human consumption. I've gotten weird liver pastes and things already. So people are being mean. Other people are being nice. So I've gotten some desserts that people want. So it's all in the name of raising money for the food bank. And I set a goal at about $2,000 this year. And if we can do that, I'd be super excited.
You almost hit that last year, didn't you?
Yeah, last year was about $1,400. So I just bumped it up a little bit. And this year I talked Jay Downton, one of the founders of the nation, into having the company match up to $2,000. So in total, I'd like to get $4,000 over to the Edmonton Food Bank by the time the season's over. So we'll see how we can go as the season goes on, but it's a good start so far. I'm almost at $500 already.
We should donate money to the food bank and then do a crock pot meal from Jimmy. Is what you have to eat after a game. Stew or prepared chili.
Yeah, something he killed in the river valley.
Delish. So those are the only rules. As long as one, I don't get sick, and two, I can find it.
We can't guarantee that. Sorry.
Yeah. That's
rule one.
That squirrel dish I had a couple of years ago wasn't good. So yeah, it was a rough couple of days. So yeah, maybe we'll gopher.
Oh, delicious.
Do us a favor, keep us posted on where you're at with this money, because we'll help you on our end to get you to that $2,000. Okay, Baggedmilk?
100%. Yeah, it's all for a good cause and a little bit of fun in the post game show. So we're going to be doing that again this year.
All right, and red poos the next morning.
Yeah, gotta love the red fog.
There he is, Baggedmilk from Oilers Nation. Thanks for your time, brother.
Thanks, boys.